A sunny hello from Los Angeles, California, USA. Welcome to Vegetarianism, the Noble Way of Living. We're back in the kitchen today with award-winning and best-selling author Ani Phyo. Her first cookbook, Ani's Raw Food Kitchen, was heralded as Best Vegetarian Cookbook USA 2007. Ani herself has been adorned with 4 Best of Raw 2008 awards. Among them are Best Chef. You might also recognize her from special guest appearances on the Travel Channel and Channel 7 ABC, or from magazines like Alternative Medicine, Oxygen, and Veg News. Aside from writing for the Huffington Post and catering vegan events for stars like Maroon 5, Ani hosts the Ani's Raw Food Kitchen Show, the award-winning #1 uncooking show on YouTube. The lovely Miss Ani Phyo joins us again for our series of vegan dessert shows right out of the pages of her newest book, Ani's Raw Food Desserts. So let's go and make some vegan cookies together. We won't be using any eggs, flour, or milk, not even an oven.
Hi, welcome to Supreme Master Television. Thanks for joining me. I'm Ani Phyo. I'm the author of Ani's Raw Food Desserts, and today I'm going to show you how to make 2 different delicious uncooked cookies. And they're really fun to make with kids. So I will start by making an oatmeal raisin cookie, just like the traditional oatmeal raisin cookies. They're really, really delicious, and of course the main ingredient is oats. And in raw baking, instead of using wheat, which has gluten, some oats are actually gluten-free, but the way that they're processed, sometimes they're processed with gluten flours, so you have to sort of look and see how it's processed. But I'm going to take oats and I'm going to place them into my food processor. And then I'm going to grind it down into a flour. Next, I'm going to add some cinnamon powder, because you know oatmeal cookies taste really good with cinnamon. And I'll give that a little mix just to mix it up really well. And since this is our dry flour, I'm going to be binding together the dry oats with a sticky fruit, which is our Medjool dates. I've already pitted these ones. And I'm going to drop these into my food processor. And these dates are sticky, so they're going to bind this flour together to stick it together into our cookie dough. So now that the dates have started to break down, you can see that our flour is starting to get sticky. But there's still a little bit of loose flour in there. So next we're going to add some raisins, because oatmeal cookies aren't complete without raisins. So I'm going to add some raisins, and then I'm going to process it all to mix it together into our dough. Wow, and that is it. Your cookies are done. So now it's just up to you to shape them however you'd like. And so I'll just take a scooper and just press little balls like that, and your cookies are done. You can either press them down or serve them as little torts like this. You know, if you want it to be like a cookie, you just press it down a little bit and it makes like a little cookie shape. What's also fun is to use a cookie cutter. So there's different shapes. Of course, the round one will be easiest. Let's see, how do I get this off? We can make a round one. So you just place that in the middle. You take some of your dough and you just push it into the center of your cookie cutter shape. And this is how I made the ones in my book. Look so perfectly evenly round. And that's it. So when you press it into your cookie cutter, unlike traditional cookies, you don't make like a sheet and then press it in. You just actually then lift the cutter away. So look at it, it makes your perfect little cookie. And that is it. So there's our batch of oatmeal cookies. And you can see there's no refined sugar, butter, eggs, flour. There is nothing in these cookies that are less than good for us. So if you put these out for your family, feed them to your children, they're going to love them. I've kid tested all my recipes, and so kids just love them lots. And kids are my inspiration for making this dessert book because, you know, all kids love sweet treats. And I feel that, you know, when a sweet treat can be healthy, that's when we get the biggest benefit from it, rather than feeding them sugar, butter, eggs, all that kind of stuff. And I find that the more healthy ingredients we include into any diet, So where better to include more healthy ingredients than in a dessert? And so the more healthy ingredients we actually include in a diet, it just means that there's less room for the less healthy ingredients, right? Because if I eat a bunch of these oatmeal cookies and I fill up on them, then that means I'm not going to have any room to eat a baked oatmeal cookie, right? So it's really just about substitution. So slowly just enjoying the things that are healthier and making less room for the things that are less healthy. So of course you could also just use your hands like this and just make like a ball with your hands and flatten out your little cookie like this as well. So those are our oatmeal cookies. They didn't even need to be baked. So that was it. The next cookie I'm going to show you is a trail mix cookie. So just like inspired by trail mix that you take when you go hiking, I'm going to be placing almonds, which are wonderful for calcium, for protein, vitamin A, C, and E, all the beautifying vitamins that are great for our skin, that keep us youthful. They're also superfoods. They have antioxidants. They fight free radical damage. They help us stay young and look young. And I'm going to take that and I'm just going to process it down into a flour again. But I'm going to leave little chunks. I'm not going to process it all the way. Okay, so now we have our almond flour. And the same thing again. I'm going to put in I'm going to mix up my flour by putting a little bit of walnuts in there. I'm going to put in a little bit of sunflower seeds, because this is a trail mix cookie, so you want to have a lot of different ingredients. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of salt, a little bit of cinnamon powder, and some raisins. I'm just going to drop that all into my food processor. And boy, does the food processor make my life easier. And I'm just going to give this a little mix, just to mix up all the ingredients. And I have my dry powder. And again, same thing, I'm going to use a sticky fruit. This is a honey date, so a different variety. And they actually taste like honey, where the Medjool dates taste like maple syrup. So I'm just using a different type of date, and I'm going to drop this in to my dry mix, and it's going to stick together all my dry nuts and seeds and make it bind into my cookie dough. Okay. And actually, this is still a little bit dry, and again, the Medjool dates are a semi-soft date, and the honey date is a little bit drier. So I'm finding that I need to add a little bit more dates in here to help it bind, because it's still a bit crumbly. So I'm going to pit a few more. I got these from the farmer's market, so they're really lovely. I get them from a local farm. I'm just going to pit a few more of these. You see how much drier these are than the Medjool dates were. They're smaller in size, they're smoother in texture, and they're much drier, as you can see. So I'm going to stick some more of these in here to create a little bit more stickiness to help the powder bind together. Depending on how fine your powder is, you could always add a little bit of moisture. You could add a little bit of a liquid sweetener even would help, like agave you could always use as well. So I'm just going to put in a few more of these dates, and hopefully that'll do it for us. But you can sort of see how much drier these are than the other ones were. And that's why I really prefer the Medjool dates. But these ones are really good too. I just wanted to play around with a different flavor. And we'll see if that was enough. Has it? Yeah, see, it's starting to bind a little bit better. It's binding into our cookies. I'm just going to put in a tiny little squirt of agave just to help add a little bit more moisture into this mix. So it just gets a little bit tackier. And that's it. So we have our dough and it's made. So the beauty of raw foods and fresh ingredients are that every batch is unique and different. So the last time I made this, I didn't need to put in as many dates. But this time, because it was a little bit drier, I needed to add a little bit more dates. Again, because I'm using all fresh ingredients, each batch is different. So I will use my cookie cutter instead, is what I will do. And I'll just make little round cookies. So again, cookie cutters are fun because you can make all different shapes. And I'm just going to make a round one like that. That's it. So that is it. So these are our trail mix cookies. And I just made 2 sets of cookies. And here we are. They're just ready to eat right now. Just like that. So that is it. And it doesn't get much less guilty than this. I mean, this is super healthy and super delicious and super good for us. It's good for the environment. It's good for our bodies. It keeps us healthy. It keeps us strong. You can actually eat these desserts as a meal in and of themselves because you saw that all the ingredients were nuts and seeds and fruit. Everything that's good for us. And those are all the things that we're supposed to be getting more of into our diets anyway. And so why not enjoy them through our desserts, healthy desserts? So for more recipes and videos and other entertaining ideas, please visit me on my website, aniphyo.com. That's ANIPHYO.com. And make sure to come back here to Supreme Master Television for more exciting recipe ideas. See you next time.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/VEG